We actually start the meeting at 6:06.
No, 6, not Donna's fault. All right, I'd like to start this meeting today, June 26th. I'd like to start with the warrants. I'd like to make a motion that we approve payroll number 113 for $10,398.03. This is quite a bit higher than usual because it includes all the volunteer fire department, it includes election volunteers and anyone else that we needed to try to make sure that we paid before the year. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we accept accounts payable number 114 for $7,437.80. And this includes almost $5,000 for fire department expenses that they've had over 6 months. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of June 19th,
It's
2020.
actually June 20th.
That's right, it was a holiday. Do I have someone who will approve those minutes? Including the-
I second the approval of the minutes of June 20th.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along, we'll go to citizens issues. I had one this morning that I'd like to share, and it's not something that we have an answer for right now, but I'd like to bring it up and just get people thinking about it. Question came up from somebody who lives off the water, and she was talking about having access to farmers and clammers, and there are times when like the road lives on Bayshore Road. Bayshore Road, if you've been on it, it's a pretty narrow road to begin with. And that clammers and wormers park there and then happen to go down areas that aren't always, that are sometimes private property, or most of the time private property. And the question was, has the town considered doing where there be clearly delineated areas where clammers do have access to the water? So, any thoughts on that?
Aren't there various sites that
It's all over.
so you're saying like
Or locations where people know that they could go down and actually they have a right of way to access water?
You're talking about commercial or? It's commercial. They often nowadays use boats to
Not all of
Pleasant
them,
Plains.
right,
No,
right,
yeah.
and she
And
was,
others do park,
Mhm.
and then they have to get the owner's permission to
right,
cross the
they're-
property.
right, and that seems to be the problem, especially if they're only here part-time, that they don't know that their property is being used. So just wanted to bring it up to see if anybody had any thoughts or anything that possibly the town has ever thought about.
Is it a problem?
The police have been called before, and the police basically said that you don't want to mess with them, which is not a good answer. In one case, the homeowner had put up no trespassing signs and put up a chain, and then their house was vandalized. And so when they called the police said, you don't want to mess with them. So they took the chain link fence down, they took down their signs because they felt like it
So
was less problem.
my thing would be, okay. Doing it, have them meet and talk. Like, I don't see any skin off anybody's nose to let them sort of cut through the property. I get it that they don't want them doing it without permission or, you know, without sort of, but it's really like that was one of the things that came up in the survey was access, right? Public access to water, believe it or not, on this island is very limited.
Mhm.
So that just kind of plays into it. Also with hunting, right? There's less and less properties that are allowing people to hunt, and that's an issue too,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And I think I don't think that's a good answer, that, you know, don't mess with them, that's terrible, but I think it's about let them talk, let them come together. You don't know who they are, they don't know who they are, you know, and let them talk and maybe come to some kind of an agreement.
That's why a lot of them use boats now. I got a friend, he's 65 or so, still out in the mud. And he stopped using his boat because like, well, when I make $150, I spend 75 in gas for my boat. So he's done the same spot over in Wiscasset for 15 years. And it's a steep bank, and he says it takes me 45 minutes to get down to the mud.
Yep.
He says, so when the snow's up to my waist, nobody goes there except for me until I bust a path there. He says, then all the 25-year-olds.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that's why a lot of them using boats. Public access has been limited.
yeah.
I don't understand. Of course, everybody's different, but there's a handful of responsible diggers out there that don't leave trash and stuff alone. I'm sure that's what part of the problem is.
Mhm.
Trash and,
Yep.
and some of the characters.
John? you-
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one thing for the police to say that, the next phone calls. And, you know, they'll probably take it a little more seriously, and they can't have, you know, we'll. Do whatever we want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't have permission. Yeah, that's what-
Right, yeah, and I think the individual that I spoke with, you know, the comment was, is there a way, like if you live on a road, like, I'm gonna use Log Cabin, because I know that's a stretch, it has lots of houses right along the water, or Bay Shore, which has lots of houses right on the water, so we have a lot of those where you have this strip, you know, a road, and then you have house after house. Is there a way that, I don't know, maybe those little communities, neighborhoods need to get together and figure out a what, is there anything on that road that would, or anybody that would give access willingly? And of course, then part of the problem is how steep is the,
Well,
You know, and
it's
maybe
also the
that-
location, because
right.
the flats aren't uniform.
Exactly.
So it's adjacent to a flat.
Yeah.
And probably fewer now than used to be. Property owners just allow
Right.
the diggers to cross their property
Yeah.
and
Yep.
build a relationship with them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's part of the change, I think, that's occurring,
yeah, I
Yep.
mean, there's no absolute right
right?
to cross my property.
Right.
No, absolutely not.
So it's a goodwill thing
Mhm.
and goodwill. So,
Yeah, well, I explained that I would bring it up and share and see if anybody had any thoughts or anybody had any ideas on how other people had handled it.
Mm.
Try to talk to.
Hey, Donna. The audio for the Zoom, we're having trouble hearing the audience comments. You guys are coming through okay, but I don't know if there's anything you can adjust on that side. We couldn't really hear John or Lisa's comments earlier.
Okay, I will ask them to speak up. Speak up.
Okay.
And Jeff is trying to make a change.
No, it looks like it's should be the owl picking things up.
I know John was soft-spoken, so I'll ask him to speak up. Thank you.
Come
All
on, his booming voice rip.
right. Continuing on, roads.
No news. I did talk to Amy. Yes, there is news. I talked to Amy, we're meeting on the week of 4th of July. We're gonna go down, we're gonna weigh out where the mill joints are, where they start and stop the hot tub.
And who is Amy?
Amy is Crooker's paving foreman for
Perfect.
municipalities now.
Good,
Oh, wow.
okay, good.
She's still on schedule for July. She can't pinpoint the date because every day it rains, it's set to behind the day. But still July. And it's one of them deals where I won't know until maybe 2 or 3 days ahead of time. But in time enough so April can help me out again and post it on the Facebook page.
So that everybody knows that.
So that everybody know.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have right now.
I wonder if it would be good, April, to post sort of an overall plan from Jim so that people who live on those roads will know that sometime, even if it's short notice, you're letting them know now that that there will be some paving done or some road work done. So I'm wondering about posting something now, not just.
Sorry, a little noisy here. Yeah, I think a combination of notifications, you know, having the whole plan out in the newsletter and on the website. And then short-term notifications up on Facebook, like we'll be paving X tomorrow. You know, please be aware there'll be closures. So if Jim, if you just want to text me as that short-term stuff comes up. And then I'll be typing up your long-term plan so that we can share that in the other avenues.
Did you have a chance to email that?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
You got a chance to email my road plan to Charlotte?
No, I'll work on that tonight though, Charlotte.
You need it for the press.
Did you hear that, April?
I did, yes. I'll work
Okay.
on it while we're doing this, actually.
Good, all right,
That was a request from Charlotte, but I thank you.
yeah. All right, a review and discussion of the town meeting results. Thoughts or comments, anything in particular? One of the things that obviously came up was around healthcare issues, and we will be starting staff meetings on that too. And just, we have already reached out to some folks to get some advice, some ideas, some thoughts on how to proceed, since this is new for a lot of communities. Would also be interesting to see how they finally came up with some of the things that they did come up with. That was one of the things that we are moving already forward on. I know one of the things that'll be coming up shortly is the snowplow contract that was approved, and we'll be signing that. In fact, we can just go ahead and sign it right now. Since that was approved at the meeting, so
Well, let's just move in second and signing.
yes. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract with Reno, the snowplow contract with Reno.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I could get a copy of that for Dale. He asked me about it a week or so ago for his insurance company.
Yeah, because we had told him that we couldn't say anything.
Date down to-
It is June still, right?
Barely.
So, more days.
Well, I got caught using May dates. Jeff didn't like that. Like, not still May? All right, so we'll make a copy.
We'll make a copy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Dale will appreciate it.
Any other big thoughts or issues that came out of that meeting on Saturday?
Kind of go down the list of things. So we also had already some interest in the intern position.
Yep,
And so the status of that is working on the job description and plan for what that position will do.
and people are welcome to contact us. We'll just put them on a list, and when we have the job description finalized, we'll let everybody know. I can't think of anything.
April, how do we, how are we proceeding in terms of having, the official minutes of the meeting?
Well, I have the rough draft. I'm gonna work on that when I'm back in the office tomorrow, and we'll just polish them up, and I assume we could get them approved by the next select board meeting.
That'd be great, yeah. You get a copy, we can sign off on them that week.
One of the things that I just remembered was, we did a site visit for the Old Town Dump, a couple months ago with some of the folks from, was it EPA or?
DEP.
DEP, I can't spell. And they had suggested if it does become ours, it would put a fence or some kind of, protection. There was an old, you could see remnants of a wire fence that was there.
There used to be a telephone pole height, and it had, square mesh. Not chain link, but mesh wire all the way to the top.
Yeah, so, I just thought of that because now that we do, we have accepted the gift. So we'll need to figure out how to take care of that. Yeah,
No, that's a good point. We didn't ask for any money to do that, but we should look at what that would cost. And the other is we need to talk with the state for Jerry Day Mason and finalize the paperwork.
Right.
And also have our lawyer involved with that.
yeah,
But I believe Dave Soul is the attorney for the estate. So it should be fairly easy to get done.
yeah. And I didn't mention it on Saturday, but, we had done the research on how much, taxes we'll lose per year on that property. It was $8. So we're not losing a lot. But yeah, we'll need to put on our agenda to figure out what to do with the fencing. Since that is ours now.
Yes, the big question would be what are you looking for, like a chain link fence or what was there before, tree poles or?
I'd want to go back to the two guys that came. Were very nice, very helpful, and I would want to talk to them and see what they would recommend. I suspect that they have something that they suggest is a standard for how you protect. Because I know there was a place, if you're going really slowly by there, you can see the pipes that are coming up. And, I wouldn't want anybody to say, oh, that looks like a fun thing to do, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
So it really, and it would be actually nice if we could sort of, there was an opening or something in the brush. Be nice if it could be covered up somehow so that nobody sees those pipes and gets and says, wow, this would be fun to do something with. So, but now that it is ours, we do need to figure out how to handle that.
We're gonna get back to Ransom and
Mhm.
get that relationship settled, so we get the water testing and the abutters done.
Yeah. So we'll start that work next month. I don't see anything else that stood out that we needed to deal with. Anything from any of you all or from you?
I didn't make a motion to gratitude for the
Thank you for that.
I'm gonna recommend that Ashley by September make the payments plan for the social service agencies. So we gotta get that done. The pattern in the past has been to wait till the last minute before we do that. And also we'll look at the timetable, the calendar for the other payments.
Yeah.
So we can get a better idea of the flow of expenditures this year. It's not a lot.
Yep. I
But-
think she wants to do that. She
Yeah.
wants to know, like, what do I have to pay quarterly? What has to, we've had some surprises. When, she didn't know they were coming and all of a sudden they're due. Are they gonna be late if you don't do it by tomorrow? So, she's been working on that. So, yep. All right, April, anything to add with, Saturday's meeting that you thought of or saw?
Nope, I think it all went well, and I just want to really put out a thanks to Gay Wagner for helping us execute that and plan that for most of us being our first time through. So it was really great to have her guidance.
Yep, she was very helpful. And I was thrilled. We had what, 88? I think 88 participants.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what I had heard somebody say. I think Dee Dee had counted or something.
Well, the vote was less. I mean, going back to the LD1 vote, and that was more like around 60 total voters, I think.
There, to be honest.
Well, that could be, maybe that's it. Okay.
Yeah, and I know people were up there at the beginning and several people left, so it could have been that
Okay.
people left over.
Good.
Yeah. All right, for correspondence, we had an invoice from Perkins and Thompson for our her little mediation.
Session.
Yeah, and so we will pay that. There was also some correspondence about a cooling center. Jeff?
So we worry in the wintertime about having a place for people who lose power and lose heat. And we were reminded by the Lincoln County Emergency Management that the cooling could be the problem now in this season. And traditionally, well, we've looked at the fire station being the place for people to seek shelter in. But it's not accessible. Again, you have to go upstairs. It's all upstairs. So again, as we've intentionally set it up so that the door to the office area can be locked. This then could be used as a shelter in a sense. We have the kitchen, we have the restrooms, we have the generator power. What we don't have in here is an air conditioner. We do have in-window air conditioning that we could use. But this also might be a good time for us to look at adding some heat pump technology. That would be a way to provide initial heating to this place. This building relies on a in-ground, what we call it, radiant heating. Thank you. Yeah, so it relies on radiant heating, but that also it doesn't go very up and down very fast.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a while. So we like to look at, again, getting a heat pump for this particular room. The state has been encouraging municipalities to look at the heat pump or other kind of energy conserving technologies and provides funding.
I was gonna say there's some grants that have been out there.
You know, it's more subsidization, but we could get heat pump technology relatively inexpensively, at least for this space. So I'd like to go ahead and see about exploring that.
Yeah, I'd also like to talk to the Conservation Commission, because I know we had talked at one time about looking at a grant that would put solar panels, looking at the idea of solar panels. So that was part of the conversation in one of the town meetings that we had, where we got people, what are you interested in? What do you think is important? And I think that was one of them. So maybe once Dennis finishes his contract, his grant writing, which is, I think, due the 7th, that I think we're gonna actually have a conversation about that, because they may have some ways to access some money too. So whether we go the heat pump or solar panels or whatever. But-
Well, it's not either or, it could be both.
Right. So maybe next month we'll tackle that as well. It's gonna be a busy July. All right. So anything that we have to do related to the
I think
code?
just to check see where we have a spare, air conditioning unit, and we can put that up in the window.
I think they're in the ladies' rooms. Seems
Yeah.
like I've seen them
Yeah,
recently.
so once it's not being used, we could use it here.
Yeah,
At least have it set up so that, if it's needed, we have a way to support folks.
And do you have to provide any kind of like cots or anything like that in a situation like that?
It probably depends, but we do have cots at the fire station. So there's, and some blankets. So we don't have to store it here. I wouldn't want to store it here.
Yeah.
But if it came to that and we had a situation, we have this space and right next door, we have the other materials that we might need.
so it'd be those who can't go up the stairs who would come here, so, yeah. Okay, great. Any other correspondence?
I was just thinking one, I got a brain cramp, what was that? Oh, just, yeah, so you mentioned Dennis. So he's been circulating the final version of this grant proposal. The next round of the community resilience planning money. So I think that's due the end of the month. So,
It's due on the 7th or 9th
okay,
of July. It's coming up pretty soon.
so that's going through. And I don't have any comment. Frank, I haven't absorbed it. It's got a lot of detail, a lot of requirements. And again, for us to know that they're going to favor communities who haven't received a grant yet. So
Yeah.
we're going to be at a disadvantage there.
Right, he had said that he wasn't optimistic, but he was still gonna, at least he already had the grant for next time. So yeah, he's a great guy for doing that. All right, for admin items, we already signed the snow plow contract. Jeff and I went to a PIER, that's PIER, review last week on the Pagan property, and I have a copy of the minutes and a license. We are giving them a license, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve the license for
Second,
the Pagans. And all in favor?
aye.
Aye, okay. April, anything else for admin items?
Nope. I will be putting notice out to committees that I need their appointments for the following year. So we can do that at the next meeting. So just be aware that'll probably take up a lot of time. Get your signing hands ready.
Yeah, I know we have a couple resignations that are coming in at the end of the month, and I assume that we'll take care of those next Monday.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, any other legal business? We still have not heard back from our lawyers regarding Baker Road, anything being signed, so we're keeping fingers crossed on that one. Anything else?
I think
for legal,
you mentioned that the replacement of Jerry. So
that'll be next week,
yeah, I just,
when Gary's back. Yeah, it was on my list, but
okay,
it got scratched off.
okay.
All right. No citizens issues, no nothing. All right. Then I would like to make a motion that we call it a night.
Whoa.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All right.
I won't be turning off that.
well, we,
Watch next week.
April, you want to shut off the recording?